In this tutorial, we are going to add a master fader to our session. The master fader shouldn't be confused with a submaster. A submaster controls the fade in and fade out and where you add compression. I guess you could even add some effects and EQ at this point. The master fader isn't for any of that. It's just an overall safety valve for your mix, and it's where we would apply dither if we're going to go, say, from 24-bit to 16-bit, which is common. So we go up to our creating our new tracks, and we choose a master fader. And you might notice that there are some things missing from this track that are in other tracks. There's no input. It basically acts as a control track to control anything that goes through the output that's chosen. So it's going to control in the background the submaster. It won't control any of the others. And since the submaster has the entire signal, it's controlling the entire signal. Like I said, this is a point where you'd want to put in a dither plugin to change the bit depth, for example. What the dither plugin does, let's pull that up. Working our way down. Looking through the list, and there's dither. I'm going to choose power dither since supposedly that's a better algorithm. And we'll just leave it at its preset, but we do want to check and make sure it's 16-bit if we're going to an audio CD. So what a dither plugin does is it actually adds a little bit of noise to your signal. Sounds scary, but it's almost imperceptible, because when you go from 24-bit to 16-bit, you're actually taking away the very softest sounds of your sound snapshots of each sample. So there would be little jagged edges down there in the from sample to sample, and the dithering adds a little noise to smooth that out so you don't perceive those jagged edges. Okay, so we've got that in. It shouldn't sound that much different, except in very critical listening situations, but we want it there anyway. All right, we also want to set a good safety valve level here. Right now the volume is at 0, which seems fine. However, if you take this mix file, once you've mixed it down and you want to compress it as an MP3 or AAC file, the compression process, it might get a little bit louder, a little bit softer. So it's always a good idea to make your mixdown file and set your master at just a little below 0 dB, so you have a little tiny headroom for future modifications of the file or compression or format changes. So I'm going to change this to -0.2. I think that's a good safe value. As you see, my fader is moving quickly, so I'll use that trick of holding down the Apple key and pulling the fader so it goes slower. And then I can get right to -0.2. And that's about all you need to do. And the fader will just work in the background as it's playing. You'll see the signal going through it. You might have noticed on that fade in that the full signal was in the submaster because it is going into the submaster, but since the submaster faded in, it showed the actual output here. Let's check that out one more time. Watch the submaster versus master. We see the signal coming in, but this is the true output. So this is what will be bounced to disk when you do that function.